absolute black ice.
Hello everybody, just sitting in my trailer here, got the diesel heater running. You'll probably hear that in the background a little bit, but hopefully this mic makes the audio tolerable. So yeah, I'm in British Columbia and I am looking for gold in February. So on the plus side, I never really even thought that you could mine gold in the winter. So that is a bonus. You know, in Alberta, there's not a lot of liquid water to be found. I am at a creek where there's actual liquid water, and I found a way to survive being in it and get in there and dive and snipe for gold and get a little scoop out of the cracks and pan for gold. And I'm finding gold in the middle of the winter, and that is a positive. That's awesome. But like so many YouTubers, the way a video works is you go out and you do the hobby that you love, the activity that you enjoy. You find some gold. So let's say you go out for a couple hours and you find a half gram of gold or a gram of gold, and you say, well, here's my gram of gold. This is what it's worth. But it's not about the money. It's, you know, the enjoyment. It's being out in nature. It's the mental health. This is what I love to do. It's not about the money. Now, that applies to me as well. I enjoy all of those things, but it is about the money. I have said on this channel, I've said I'm going to try to figure out how to make a living gold mining. And I'm giving it a good hot go as often as I can. I'm going to get out and I'm going to try to make money gold mining. And so because of that, it's kind of embarrassing to say that in many ways, because what it means is I am here failing miserably to do that in front of everybody. So yesterday, I think I found 2, maybe 3 grams of gold. I don't have a scale, which is pretty awesome. That was 6 hours in the water, but that's not wages. I mean, it's just, it's good. It's, you know, paying for fuel, but it's not like making money gold mining. And then today, managed about 4 hours in the water and just a little late start is all. And again, like maybe 2, maybe 3 grams. I don't know exactly, but if I have 5 grams for the last 2 days, is that making a living gold mining? I don't know. So that's why saying, okay, my goal here is to make money gold mining. It's kind of rough to say that because, well, it makes this entire trip, which in many measurements is like an awesome success. It's the middle of the winter. I'm finding real gold in a creek and I'm alive somehow, swimming around in this crazy alien environment that I'm not supposed to be alive in. And I'm doing it. And yet I'm failing in front of everyone because what I said is that I want to try to make a living gold mining, and I'm not really doing that. So I don't really know how to put all that together in my head right now. But straight up, what's going on? So here I am in my trailer, and behind me here, this is a wetsuit. So the key difference, because the last time you saw me out here, you would have seen one day I hiked in. It's about 1.88 kilometers, so almost 2 kilometer hike, like through the snow, crazy. And I did it in a dry suit.
Oh, hello everybody.
And by the time I got to the river, I was like sweating up a storm. I was really wet and I got cold quickly. So I managed to stay in for about 2 hours, but I was just freezing the whole time. I was trying to swing my arms around and warm up, and I didn't get a lot of work done because I was so cold. And then the next day I went in a wetsuit. So I hiked in street clothes. The wetsuit was in a backpack. That was a lot more comfortable. And then I get into the wetsuit, and it's an XL 976, quite a nice wetsuit, but my fingers were really cold. And even with several layers of socks and booties, my feet started to get cold. And it was really hard to get anything done. Worked for about 2 hours, sort of inefficiently. Did find about 1/5 of a gram of gold at the end of that video. And, you know, that was cool. That was a combination of, you know, we snuffer stuff up with a snuffer bottle in cracks and everything. And then also it's supposed to be like a coarse gold creek, but there's a lot of fine gold as well. So just scooping up the bottoms of cracks and stuff. Like when you're snuffering, you waft all the gold and you'll see little flakes come up onto the bedrock above the crack, and then you got to snuff for those up. So just literally shoveling into a gold pan and panning is another way to get some of the finer stuff. And it's cool. Like we're finding gold anyways. But to get back to the wetsuits, I'm freezing, right? So it's really hard to get anything done. So the difference this time, what I've done differently is I'm wearing 2 wetsuits. So the wetsuit behind me, I bought when I was 24 years old. I bought it in San Diego when I went there to learn to surf. And it's a 4-3. So it's 4 millimeters at the core and 3 for the, I don't know if it's 3 for the arms and legs or it's 3 for the arms, whatever it is, it's a 4-3 surfing wetsuit. And it's a size medium. I'm about 160 to 165 pounds at the moment, and it fits great. And then my 976 hooded wetsuit is a size large. So I put on this size medium, and then I put the size large on top. So I've got like 13 millimeters of like good, well-sealed, non-flushing neoprene keeping me warm, and my core gets warm. So my hands, I can literally be sitting at a computer desk in 21 Celsius, comfortable, wearing a jacket, typing, and my hands get cold. Like they're painful. It's like, oh, this sucks. I've even got this cute little pair of like knitted gloves that you can plug into a USB port to like warm your hands while you're typing. I get made fun of sometimes at work. I just can't keep my hands warm. But because I'm wearing 2 wetsuits, I'm almost like too warm, which is strange to say in 2-degree water. Like I'll roll a clip at the end of all this talking to show you what it's like. It's like otherworldly, the amount of ice and cold in this canyon. And I'm warm enough that my body is actually saying, hey, you're safe. And it's putting blood flow into my extremities. So it's helping keep my feet warm, helping keep my hands warm. And then we brought down like just a Coleman propane stove, so we can keep a pot of warm water. So when your hands do get cold, it's really hard to warm them back up. But you go to that pot of warm water, dip your hands in there. You can take your gloves off and fill their gloves up and sort of use your glove as what would be the word? A chalice of warm water to pour down your wetsuit and sort of warm up. And you put the gloves on, and the double wetsuit really helps. So I'm actually able to get some work done down there. And then I can use that warm water to dip the GoPro to warm it up, and then hopefully I can hold it underwater a little bit longer without it freezing up. That's one strategy. I'd really like to get into some really beautiful underwater photography, like some of the people you see in the oceans. Like they've got these special domes that go over the camera that makes it a little more clear, and you can get the like above water and below water. And I want to, like, just as an art form, get better at videoing in these creeks, but that's like a future problem because right now I want to make money gold mining. But yes, so the dual wetsuit thing, here's another reason that's really awesome. I'm not just going out mining and then putting everything in my car and driving home to dry everything out. I'm living in this trailer. And yes, I have a diesel heater, but I gotta dry my wetsuit as well. So this thinner wetsuit is easier to dry. So I'm hanging it inside. The other wetsuit's currently hanging outside. So it is drip drying, but it's below 0, so I will bring it in later. But that big heavy wetsuit, it can still be damp tomorrow. This wetsuit is what goes on first. So I hike in, and then this wetsuit, if it's dry, I get into that, and that dry wetsuit goes on my skin. So we've been in the creek 2 days now. So I've actually tested this, and today I hiked in with like wet wetsuits, dried it overnight. That wetsuit is dry enough that I can put it on and survive it. And then when I put on the big wetsuit, which is still a bit damp, excuse me, it's not bad, but it's damp. And when it's 0 degrees and you're putting on a damp wetsuit, it's not fun. But it's not touching my skin. It's just touching this wetsuit. So I'm able to get both wetsuits on down in the middle of nowhere and then go dive in this water and survive and hunt for gold. So that's really encouraging. Tomorrow, we're going to move downriver a little bit. There's only so many areas that are open because there's just ice everywhere and snow everywhere. There's still a few places you can walk all the way across the creek and it's just like gurgling underneath. So, obviously, you got to be careful down there. But tomorrow we found a new area with some shallow bedrock. It looks fairly smooth, but there's not a lot of gravel on top. So we should be able to move a lot of like square footage of bedrock and open it up, and we just got to find that one crack. And the one crack that had like a little 1-inch opening that's just the right shape, it can totally change your day. So that's kind of the goal. Just one more thought here is when it comes to goals, when I'm at home, I can think of outcome-oriented goals. Like, okay, I need this many grams of gold. What can I do to get that? All that kind of stuff. When I'm out here, I need to stay focused. And so I'm dealing with process-oriented goals. And what that means is whether I find 1 gram or whether I find 10 grams, that is out of my control. All I have control over is, like, as efficiently as possible, learning how to snipe, covering ground, breaking open bedrock cracks. So the process goal is to work efficiently in the creek for as many hours as possible. I did 6 hours on day 1. Today I did about 4 hours, just started a little bit late, which was good because man, am I ever tired. And the goal tomorrow is to put in another 6 hours. So if I can survive in the creek for 6 hours, spend the majority of that time actually working, finding cracks, moving overburden, getting in there with the pick, snuffering stuff out, panning, you know, the low areas where gold might collect with all that fine gold. That's a process-oriented goal. Regardless of the outcome, that's all I have control over while I'm out here. So rather than being frustrated at, let's say over 2 days, I've got 5 grams of gold, saying that's not going to pay the bills, it's not enough money, I can just sit back and separate myself from that and think, hey, this is cool. It's winter. I'm mining. I'm doing what I love. It's not about the money. It's about everything else, and enjoy that. And then all I'm focused on is get in your 2 wetsuits, survive the water, and work hard to get this done. So how will we do on day 3? I don't know. I'm going to roll a clip of today, end of day 2. I'm down there with Ben, and everything that we've sort of snuffered out of cracks and panned and then snuffered up throughout the day is in the gold pan. We're going to have a look at the gold from day 2. I don't know how much gold this is. I don't have a scale. I have a snuffer bottle from day 1. I have a snuffer bottle from day 2, and we'll put it all together when I get home. But for now, that's the gold you get to see in this video. And yeah, it's kind of an interesting place to see. So I hope you enjoy some of the footage. I hope it turned out well enough when I edited it in. I haven't really, seen what the GoPro got. But let's go have a look at that gold, see what it looks like. All right. The water's just crazy clear. You got these little ice shelves like this. It just starts breaking apart like crazy. Of course, the view underneath it.
Maybe?
3 or 4 grams, you think? Let's go have a look at it. Oh, yeah, you put all the huts together and it's, yeah, it's hard to tell exactly the grams, but we'll combine that with yesterday's estimate of 2 to 3 grams. Yeah, that's smiley. I mean, we're not rich considering how hard we're working. No. But yeah, there's some chunkies in there for sure. Starting to add up. It's never easy. It's always fun. And it's just trying to say that you're making a living gold mining is really hard to do. when you actually do the math on this, but that is satisfying to see at the end of the day. Hopefully this has been somewhat interesting. I know it's just sort of like a vlog of me sitting in my trailer with a diesel heater ticking away in the background to make the audio as annoying as possible. Curious how this little lav mic helps with that. But yeah, that's life right now. And come on back next week, because at some point I'll show you all that gold at home, of course. And tomorrow is going to be day 3. We're going to move to a different part of the creek. And what's a little more interesting is it's a lot of this really smooth bedrock, but there's not very much overburden on top. So we should be able to cover a lot of ground. And if in any of that ground we cover, there happens to be a nice juicy crack, one little 1-inch crack, just little in the right spot of the creek, could be life-changing, or day-changing at least. Like, we could find 10 grams in one crack. So we back down to the river, dual wetsuits, that's key. And yeah, until next time, cheers and thanks for watching, everyone. And yeah, hopefully there's some entertainment value to this little adventure, because sometimes it just feels frustrating. And I don't really know how to focus on like making a really beautiful video about finding 1/5 of a gram of gold like I did last time, versus just focusing on making money and making YouTube secondary and just chatting about it later in the trailer like this. It's all a balance. Every week's different, but this is this week. So I hope it was enjoyable, and we'll catch you all next time.